Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to have a look in my sketchbook because I'm going to have a practice at some different backgrounds that I can use for some upcoming pictures. So I've taped off some little squares in my sketchbook just with some masking tape. I've made the two bigger ones, the two central ones, a little bit bigger. And all I'm going to do is give myself a 15-minute time limit. And I'm just keeping my eye on the clock, and I'm just going to go for it and mark make with the various things that I've got. I'm going to start off. I remembered that I had some liquid latex from when I was a makeup artist. So I'm going to try drawing a tree with the latex, and then I'll let that dry whilst we paint the next part, and I can show you what that does. So you just want to get your latex and draw your shape that you want with the latex. Just a nice little shape there. Right, I'm going to leave that to dry. I might actually just do some shapes over here as well, just to see what fun I can get out of them. I'm just doing some little circles, I think, and some random lines. So let's leave that. So now I have some wax, which is literally just a piece of wax from a candle. I just want to see what happens when I paint over wax with my walnut ink. And nothing. Nothing happens. Well, I don't know, it's kind of separating where the wax was. Actually, that's quite a nice effect. Yeah, let's try that again. Sorry, my voice is a little bit croaky, and I've had a cold. I'm going to try doing a circle with some wax, just in that one. And I'm going to try my oak gall ink. Does it resist? Yes, it does. That wasn't a very good circle, but you can see it has resisted. So let me try again. It's difficult to see what you're drawing. With the wax. Oh yeah, I like that. It's kind of a nice night sky effect. Let's see what this wax looks like. I was going to see what this black looks like over the walnut ink as well. I like the way that this pools like this. It's quite good for a sky. That's not dry yet. Now here I have some of my red brick, and I just wanted to see if I could print with this over this plastic ring that I just found in the bathroom. Yeah, that's quite nice. See, I'm just experimenting just to see what I can do to get different backgrounds before I actually do the background. I quite like abstract backgrounds. going to try with this. This is a paint that I made a few weeks ago. This is a red ochre, well, a orangey ochre. I haven't actually used it as paint yet, so just see how this goes. I'm going to paint it on the sponge. I didn't get very much out of that. That's better. Not getting very good impression with this sponge. You live and learn. This probably just needs a little bit more water. It's quite a light colour actually, a lot lighter than I thought it would be. That's a really light paint actually, that's really interesting. Because it looks like it would be very dark. Well, that's better. But it's still quite a lot light, quite light. I wanted to see how well some of the paint would work with my ink. Whether I could paint over with the ink. It's interesting to see it on this paper. This ink looks quite grey. Seems to have lost some of its blackness in places. Now what you do with the latex is you paint over the latex, and then once your paint has dried, you just remove the latex, and then you're left with an outline. And I haven't actually done this before, I've just seen it done. So I just wanted to experiment, just to see how it worked. So we're going to let that paint dry, and then we need to just go back and scrub off where the latex was. This one's still a little bit wet. I'm going to see if I can add some of this paint over that latex as well, even though it's not quite dry yet. Hello. Sorry, that was just my mum coming back. So another one of my favourites is the old flick method. I do enjoy. And I wanted to see especially if this paint will show over the dark, and it looks like it is showing quite well. So you just need to load up your brush with paint and the water, and then just give it a good flick. And you can do that with any of the really wet paint. A toothbrush is good, it depends on what kind of spatter you want really. And I'm also just having a go at the drag, just to see if I can drag some lines and shapes into the wet paint, quite like that, just with a bit of string. Just to get some different textures in there. go back in with my sponge and just see if I can remove some paint in some places, just to see if that does anything. Ah, you can see where the latex is there, because I've just dabbed some of it off. And I can roll it, scoop up some of that dark ink there, roll it there. Just going to add a little touch of walnut ink just to see if the ink will go over this paint. I know it goes, I know I can paint under the ink. I haven't really seen whether the ink works well over the paint, and I certainly haven't seen if it works well over the dark. It looks like it's okay actually. See if we can get a couple of impressions there. Oh yeah, that's nice. Right, I just want to see in the last couple of minutes, because we're already on 11 minutes, I just want to see if I can scrape away that latex. Just looking around for something to scrape it with. I can't see anything. So, well, it's not quite dry yet. So I'm going to pause the video and let it dry, and then I'll come back and we'll scrape that away just to see what it looks like. So I'm just peeling off the latex. I managed to find a little edge. So you can see you get a resist. That's quite a cool effect. I think I'm definitely going to use this in a piece. So this is the secret to how a lot of artists get that lovely bright white on a watercolour painting. And you can either use latex or you can get other art from art stores that do a similar thing. Now, I'm not into buying new things really, but this I've had in the shed for years because I used to be a makeup artist. So it may as well get used up, and I've got quite a lot of it. So it's better used up than just left in the shed. I think, was that it? The problem is, of course, you can't always see where you've put everything. And I did tear the paper a little bit there. But that's a great effect. And then let's see, this one's not quite dry. Oh yeah, it is. This one's torn the paper a little bit. That's interesting. I must have used too runny a layer. I don't think I put an awful lot on this one. Yeah, just a little bit there. So you obviously do have to be careful and know where you've put the latex. Or use quite a thick layer so that you can really see it well, so you know where to take it off. Sure, there's some there. Oh. Yeah. So I'm going to try just a little bit of wax on the top of a painting now, just to see if that does anything. Just add a little bit more oil. Yeah, that does resist quite well. I just want to fill in those gaps. I'm not sure whether I'd use the wax, to be honest, but I have enjoyed the latex. So let's just see. I'm going to take the paper off, and then we're just left with some squares. That I can then make some notes in the gaps. I left these gaps deliberately so that I could make some notes so that I don't forget in the future what it was that I did. Because when you looking through your scrapbooks, sometimes you might not look in it for weeks and then you think, oh, what did I do there? So if you've made a note, you're okay. And I'm going to make that note before I forget. I'm noticing that this tape has actually ripped the paper on this scrapbook, but this scrapbook is not the same texture of paper that I'd be using for an actual painting, and it hasn't ripped any of that paper yet. So there you go. We have 6 little test squares that I can make some notes on, and I'm quite excited with what sort of backgrounds I can get now with these techniques and using these blends of natural paints. So I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Don't forget to look back through my other videos for the how I made the oak gall ink and how to make the natural paint from rocks and soils and old bricks. Take care. Bye.